my 2 cents on pushing back on some of the narratives that are just not backed up by data. I'm really grateful to be a woman in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I feel so grateful to be alive during this time where the prophets revealing so much about Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother, teaching us to be united as men and women. And I hope you leave comments below. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Rachel with Women in Priesthood, a place for members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to come and study priesthood power. But there's just been a lot of funny narrative in the news lately that I felt like I wanted to push back on about are LDS women empowered? Is the LDS Church disempowering and oppressing women? And I wanted to give my 5 reasons why LDS women are not being oppressed and are actually quite empowered. And I'm not actually going to use doctrine. I'm mostly going to use data. So I want to let you know that I am a member of the church. I'm a millennial mom. I have 4 kids, but I also have a master's degree from Dartmouth. I have an undergraduate degree from BYU. I've worked in war zones. I've worked at the U.S. Embassy. I've worked in the Middle East. I've had a really good career. And so I can say that one of the reasons I decided to pursue my education was because the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints says that we should pursue intelligence. We should always be seeking intelligence. And to that point, if our religion, if our church was oppressing women, you would think that they would not be encouraging us to get an education, but the opposite is true. If you look at the Pew Research Institute, let's see if I can make this a little more legible for you guys. In the LDS Church, compared to the rest of the population, has a much higher. We have a higher rate of college degrees than the average population, and we don't have as many like PhDs, but we do quite well with college. We are more educated by 2% than the rest of the US population in terms of undergraduate degrees. So we are a very educated group of people. Now, of course, naturally, if our religion is sexist, if our church is oppressing women, then obviously most of that education would go towards men, right? Not the case. I hate to break it to those haters out there who want to paint it that way, but BYU, Idaho, and all the church schools boast 51% of their accepted applicants are actually women. The church is actually funneling more money into educating women in their religion than men by several percentage points. Everyone who attends a BYU school gets an automatic 60 to 70% subsidization of their education. So not only is our church accepting more women into their collegiate programs, but they're subsidizing it by 70%. What church do you know is doing that? Okay, the next thing that I think is really interesting is what about how our church encourages women to become mothers? And how are women supposed to get educated that way? What you have here is called the BYU Pathway Worldwide program. And this is such an incredible program that other countries are trying to emulate it. It's a way that mothers can do online programs and in-state meetups and work their way to getting their undergraduate degree or professional certifications. And as a military wife, there was a point where I was in a church ward where there were seven women at one point taking this BYU pathway program, showing their kids that education was important and getting their degree while working, while taking care of their kids, while their husbands were deployed. Incredible resource. The next thing that I wanted to point out, I think one of the most amazing things about being a woman in this church is that we believe in the existence of a heavenly mother. We don't just believe in we believe that God, Elohim, consists of 2 beings, which is Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother, that they are united in purpose, but they are 2 separate individual beings. Joseph Smith revealed the reality of the existence of a Heavenly Mother, and she's not esoteric. She's not this amorphous being. She's a physical woman. And as a woman, I cannot think of a religion that can validate the existence of womanhood more than our religion because we believe in this doctrine, because we celebrate this doctrine. It's official doctrine in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. One of the things that's like, if this was an oppressive religion, if the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints was secretly conspiring to repress all women, don't you think that they would have kept something like this a secret, or just not revealed it, not publicized it, not celebrated it? Yeah, it's because this religion celebrates womanhood and celebrates women. So I'm probably going to do more of this just because I think the women who are trying to paint the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints as, sexist and oppressive and secretly trying to, repress women, or, if that's the objective of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, they're doing a really bad job, because what they've ended up with is a huge swath of women with education, leadership skills, and moms who have babies who are educated, who are going to raise the next generation, who also have a divine archetype of a heavenly mother to follow after. Obviously, one of the most core tenets of our religion is that we believe in Jesus Christ. And one of the things that we believe in about Jesus Christ is that to be a true disciple of Jesus Christ means that you should be the best husband and father and mother and wife that you can be. So I think in many ways what people criticize us for is they don't like what we value necessarily. But you can't really in that sense, we just have to agree to disagree. We value family life. We value marriage. I think it's a real statement to the fact that this religion isn't oppressive to women when you find out that an alarming number of women in our church choose to stay married. Because 69 to 71% of women in the United States right now initiate and file for divorce. And that is not the case in our religion. And that's because men are taught to treat their wives with love and respect and kindness. And we are taught to be united as a team in marriage. Anyway, so this is just my spiel as an actual member of this religion who's educated, who's grown up in this religion. I've had many opportunities to walk away from it. I would like anyone who is going to try and insist that this church is secretly oppressing and, disempowering women. I would like them to answer why they have subsidized women's education to the level that they have more than men, why they promote and teach the doctrine of a heavenly mother, and why the marriage rate is so incredibly high, why women in this religion are so happy in their marriages compared to the women in the rest of the United States. I don't think you have an answer other than to say that your argument that this religion is sexist just doesn't hold up. I understand if you've had bad experiences with a man, with a bad husband or a bad bishop or a bad dad, but that doesn't give you license to castigate an entire religion as sexist. Anyway, so those are my thoughts. Those are my 2 cents on pushing back on some of the narratives that are just not backed up by data. I'm really grateful to be a woman in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I feel so grateful to be alive during this time where the prophet's revealing so much about Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother, teaching us to be united as men and women. And I hope you leave comments below. Bye.
How I yearn for you to understand that the restoration of the priesthood is just as relevant to you as a woman as it is to any man. Because the Melchizedek priesthood has been restored, both covenant-keeping women and men have access to all the spiritual blessings of the church. The heavens are just as open to women who are endowed with God's power, that power flowing from their priesthood covenants, as there are to men who bear the priesthood.